morning, good morning, good morning. I was listening to Ricky Smiley on my way in. I need a theme song, Mickey.
Nah, we do need to get some
I need
stuff
some
together.
music or something. You know, people
Oh,
won't
shit.
people won't let you y'all don't want me to sing, but happy Saturday, good happy Saturday morning. Y'all do not want me to sing because I am still upset when I was in the children's choir at Blackwell and
Hmm.
church that they never let me sing a solo. You know who they let sing a solo? I don't think she can sing any better than me at all. Karen McIntosh. She got a solo. I couldn't get the solo. I don't know how she got the solo. I think I'm still a little bitter about that. Just a little. We was kids then. But anyways, I want to say happy Saturday morning to everyone. And I hope this is a wonderful day. And if you have been sitting in there, we had just a little bit of we had some issues. You know the internet don't work in here. So due to those this is a brick building, so the signal is intermittent. And I did take 5 minutes to listen. The elevator ain't working, Mickey.
I know. We all found that out. I had to take the
I,
steps.
look, I'm glad I threw on my Birkenstocks today.
Yeah, I
I'm
took
like,
the
okay, I
steps.
got my grocery store going into the grocery store. Old woman, you know, your Birkenstocks, your little, what do they used to call them? Shift dresses or whatever.
I wouldn't
I don't know
know.
what they call your girl going grocery shopping. Ain't nothing in my refrigerator. Nothing. Nothing. So if you're on here, please click like and share. It is a beautiful day out there, and there's a lot of things going on. And we are coming up on elections. Mickey, how are you today?
Oh, I can't complain. It's a beautiful day out here.
And it is a beautiful day. It's funny because the couple was out there. He was riding around in a circle, and she was telling them all. And I'm like, okay, this was interesting. And yes, you know, with me, you know, being a black woman, I can put this on black people, being a nosy person. And like they say, if your neighbor's arguing, you'll take a vacuum and go out there like you vacuum your front lawn or something,
Uh-huh.
or like you paint your house trying to see what they doing. I was trying to see what they was doing. Their argument was kind of funny. It was. Anyways, so to everyone out there, and I guess he's going to have to back it up. I appreciate you giving me your time this Saturday morning, but click like, share, and subscribe. Click, and I need to do the same thing. Click like, share, and subscribe. And we are going to get in. This is going to be a good show. We're going to move along quickly so we won't have pretty much a lot of, um, I guess, chit chatter in between. And am I getting the hiccups? And so there is a lot to talk about. We are coming up on elections. And so with elections that we have kind of, there are some very prominent races. I will go over what is on the ballot and for Flint, Genesee County. There is a lot that is going on, a lot. And so I will share, I'm going to put the actual ballot up. And I think my last little thing that I was sending last night was probably around 2:30, something like that, um, to get some things done. So, anyways, it's time to so make it put up the book. Let's go back to the top because I want to tell you I am in a good mood, y'all.
Hmm.
I'm in a good mood. So let's scroll back. Oh, Mr. Richburg said happy birthday. That was probably to my daughter. My daughter, my favorite daughter, my most wonderful favorite daughter. She's actually my only daughter. But then I'm a mom. I tell all my kids they my favorite. It is her birthday. To everyone who wished her, it was August the 1st. So to everyone who wished her a happy birthday, thank you, thank you, thank you. She's at the point now. We were like, well, what are you doing? And we're gonna do a birthday dinner for her this weekend, but she didn't want anything for her birthday. What she's and it's funny because when you teach your kids how to, I'm gonna say she's carrying on what we did is she saw the grown-ups doing. So now it is take my birthday money and donate it, give it to what you're going to spend and spend it on a young girl or the youth program. Use that money, mom, to help a young lady in the youth program that you will be working on with Pastor Jannard Lakes with Spirit of Victory Church. So I like her giving her Christmas. My kids, the two oldest kids, we don't do gifts. So what we do is how many children are we supporting? So usually around right before Thanksgiving, my living room and what I call the college house now. because it used to be hers, but I'm in it, and it's
Mm-hmm.
small. It is not a big house, but it's small. And so my living room is usually filled with Christmas gifts because we shop to give to families, and we do not give gifts. I don't. I take that, but we for Christmas we don't. We don't do any gifts with me and my three children. We don't. Uh, we give those to children, the Angel Tree, and other children who have needs. So we sponsor kids. And then my friends also do it too. So it's not just my kids, it's like people join in to help. And I have got some awesome friends who have done Michelle Young every year. Matter of fact, she beat me to the punch. And we've been friends since pre-K. We got our
Mm-hmm.
behinds whipped together. And then Stephanie Rogers, she donates. And so I've got some great friends from everywhere who donate. Yolanda lives in North Carolina. Wendy lives in Seattle, or right outside Issaquah. So I've got some great friends that believe in whatever it is my advocacies are. And the same with me, I believe in what they're doing because they have a heart to serve. So,
Mm-hmm.
except for Michelle, don't come to Flint City Council giving me no, I got an assignment for you. Don't, I have an assignment for you. I'm like, girl, I don't have enough hours in a day to finish what I'm doing. So let's go back up to Mr. Richburg. Good morning. Good morning, Marcia Tolbert. Good morning, Jessica Stewart. Good morning, Gladys. What's happening, Gladys? I miss Gladys getting up there and pointing her finger. I miss you, Gladys. Miss Winfrey Carter, you were supposed to be on a cruising. Why are you on social media? Look, she in the Bahamas doing all the things I want to do, laying up in the sun, having a cocktail, you know, jamming to the music, maybe seeing some shows. Enjoy yourself. Yeah, Michelle, they're talking about good morning, but listen, for real though, Michelle, we don't want no more assignments. I don't. And I might be able to speak for Jerry Ricardo too. Good morning, Anna. Good morning, T from the D. Good morning, Avis. It is nice when you see friendly names, people that, check in with us every week. I love that. I love that. So I seen No Name. Now come on back up. I seen No Name because I'm No Name's councilwoman back. I like that. I'm gonna get me a T-shirt with it on, with it on it. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Rhoda. If you are clicking in, good morning, Otis. So we are from Alabama. Otis sounds like an Alabama name. That's what I call Sherman at the Golden Leaf, and he called me Beulah. He calls me Beulah. Good morning, Angie Mack. Good morning, Julina. Good morning, Marvin Tiller. Good morning, Chauncey Mays from Jacksonville. I need a vacation. No name told me something. You need to get a t-shirt. Listen, I'm a black one. We ain't telling our size, but I like V-necks, okay? I like a V-neck. I was going over that with Stephanie last night with Kamala Harris for president. She's like, oh, you like a V-neck? Yeah. I don't like all that really like, that t-shirts like Fruit of the Looms that's up to here. I don't like those. I never have. Good morning, Brandon. Good morning, Yusuf. Yes, I had a mocktail. Anyway, we're gonna get started. There is a lot, and we'll come back to it. And if I have not said good morning to you, charge it to my mind and not to my heart, because this is a beautiful morning. So, Mickey, we're going to talk about where do we go to vote in Flint. So, can we put that first one up, voting? And this is from the city clerk's office. I want to share good information. So, City of Flint, you have to make it big. I can't see. Thank you. So, City of Clerk's office, election news, important days to remember. August 6th is the primary election. August 6th. So beginning July 23rd through August 6th, they will open until 8 p.m. The clerk's office. You may register to vote in person at the City of Flint's clerk's office with proof of residency. Saturday, July 27th through August 1st, early in-person voting available at the city Hall, y'all. I'm just gonna say that. Don't let the City of Flint Municipal Building look City Hall, okay? With the exceptions of Sunday, August the 4th. So on the third floor, you can vote now, today, if you want to. Third floor, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. You can go vote. Third floor, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. because we're doing early voting. Friday, August the 2nd. Deadline for voters to request an absentee voter ballot to be mailed via first class mail. Look, if you get a ballot, I'm suggesting that you take it and put it in front of the mailbox in front of City Hall. I would not chance it because our mail be doing some goofy stuff. It'll go to Pontiac. You might get that 6 months later. I'm just saying, take it. And if you get your absentee ballot, I would drop it off in front of it's an absentee ballot mailbox in front of City Hall. And it's signed, it has it on there. Drop it in there. It's safe and it's secure. Monday, August 5th, deadline for registered voters to request an absentee ballot, an absent voter ballot in person at the city clerk's office. Tuesday, August 6th until 8 p.m. A person registering to vote in person at the city of Flint clerk's office may obtain and vote an absentee and voter ballot with proof of residency or vote in person at their proper precinct. You can register the same day and vote at City Hall. No excuses. Tell your mom, tell your pa, tell your aunties and your uncles and your children, you need to vote. It is that important. It is that important. If you're in the 7th ward, that race is really important. I'm trying to get the media, especially 810, out the timeout corner, y'all, because that's just the craziest ordinance or rule, whatever that is, resolution that they passed. I want 810 out the timeout corner. I want them out the timeout corner. So listen, we need that 7th ward seat to have with someone who has who's going to vote and help the people, who's going to be fair. Yeah, I supported Jonathan Jarrett. I knocked hundreds of doors for Jonathan Jarrett. Man, I remember I went to this one gentleman's house. I thought it was a woman. His name was Diamond, and he knew I would probably be, and he was like, "Yeah, you probably thought I was a woman with the name like Diamond." He was a veteran. I told him thank you for his service, but clearly his mom thought at birth he was a rare jewel. So listen, we need people to change the trajectory. I am supporting Jan Marie Ira for 7th Ward, and it is for multiple reasons. One, she doesn't have a nonprofit. Two, she has not voted in committee where the other person, Candace Michat, voted to give her nonprofit $300,000. That was number two. Number three, Candace Michat will not denounce Doug Matthews. I don't understand that. He comes in here week after week, and it's funny how he's trying to spin the story and say as if I'm the one charged with calling him the N-word. No, and something with Sergeant Villarreal, like I told him to do. Now, come on now. Them the same officers that drive Liddell Lewis to and from city council because she's scared to be in council, but jumped out on everybody in council that she's scared of. So that is my is that up now, Mickey?
That's what I was asking. Which one is it? What's the one you want to
Oh, we're going to go up to the next. We're going to go to the ballot. I'm going to run down that. So early voting is important. Get out.
You should go to the ballot.
Yep. It says what's on the ballot. So you got to fill in all of that.
Yep.
Man. Okay. I thought it would have just pulled back up. So can you type it in? It says election, and you're going to have to put in, I put a screenshot.
Okay, I got you. Okay, I got to put.
Yeah, so y'all bear with us. And so we're going to do August state primary. We're going to go, because you can go to this and fill it and look what's on the ballot. So state primary, that one. Jurisdiction count, Genesee.
Some of my what's name that kicked in. It's this northern as I'm getting this together.
Jurisdiction, Flint City at Flint City.
Let's look at it.
Precinct, we can just do precinct 1. We know that is a race that has 6 people. So it'll ask you, it says view the ballot. So this is look, I walked y'all through the process.
What? I had to fill it out. That's a charge. That's a charge.
we did it together.
Okay, let me put this together for you.
So I want y'all to take us voting is get out and vote. Okay. Listen, 7th Ward, we need to get 810 out of the timeout corner. Yeah, that corner is goofy, though. That is just crazy. So if we can share the screen, can they see it? Okay.
Hold on, let me make sure I did it right. I'll just be up here lying. Bam.
Boom. There y'all go. This is how the 810 brings you the real factual. So who is on the Democratic Party? You have to vote either Democratic or Republican Party as a straight ticket. So you have for Senator Hill Harper or Elizabeth Slocum. You have representative in Congress. You have got Matt Collier, Kristen Donald Rivette, Pamela Pugh. You've got legislative. You've got Floyd Clack and
no Michael.
Mike. Oh,
yeah.
Listen, right. You got click on Clack. So
for sure.
Click on Clack. Why they got his middle name up there?
I don't know.
Jesus. That was smart though.
Yeah. Smart.
That was a smart move. People will vote for who they know.
For
Lloyd
sure,
Clack was his dad.
Daddy.
And so, okay. That was smart though. Okay.
Little razzle dazzle.
Little Michael Floyd Clack. So click on Clack. I am supporting Michael Clack. We have David Layton and Trishelle Young, and that has turned into kind of ugly.
Nasty. Downright nasty.
It has. Christopher Swanson is sheriff. He is running unopposed on the Democratic side. I am supporting Sheriff Swanson. Me and Sheriff Swanson getting ready to have a talk. He will be receiving a call from Tonya Burns because we need to do more. We're not getting enough from our City of Flint police with the gun violence on children. We're just not. And then also the 237 children. We need to.
Wow.
Yeah, that just during the COVID were new victims of criminal sexual.
And I like what you and Pastor Janai Lakes doing. Let me give you flowers for that. I like what y'all doing for that.
When something come upon your heart to do what's right, Lord, no, I've been told you clear off this on your schedule, Tanya, and you pick up something else. But I like Pastor Janai Lakes.
No, good.
I admire his spirit. I admire what he's doing. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna pause right here. I know we're going through the ballot. And I went to his church, and he used to be in my ward. Now they have a church off of Pearson Road, and that church is paid for. And I was like, one of the times I went there, I'm like, they got 19 baptisms. I hope they're not doing this during the morning service, because some churches will. It all depends. I was like, because 19 baptisms, we're gonna be here till this evening. And he had 19. The next time I went, he had 22. I'm like, man, what is this guy doing? But I'm looking at all the young people. I'm like, wow, it was kids everywhere. Kids everywhere. He owns 2 services. I like to sleep in on Sunday. So right now that works with my schedule. You show up at 12:30. And you good to go. So we're gonna go back to the ballot, but he is doing some great things for young men. And what I want to do for young women with the women that I know, because I ran mentorship programs and I volunteered for them, and I have been the one to run them. So yeah, I can't see a little ballot.
I got you. But when you was talking, I had to let the people see you and not just the ballot. Okay, so we start the Swanson. Yeah, I am voting for Sheriff Swanson. I am supporting Sheriff Swanson. Let me tell you a joke. When I went into a joke is the fact. When I went into his office the first time, I'm like, why you got like little smell? It smelled good in there. Why was he playing? And I went in there with another man. I don't want anybody to be thinking anything. Right. He had Luther Vandross playing. I know Swanson good people.
Listen, anybody know? My sister complained. She decided drinks of essence. Sheena Harrison is my baby sister. Yes, she is. So she had called me one time. She was like, look, I want to come. She's like, when we coming to Chicago, can we stay with you at your house? And I said, yeah, you can. So she came with her. It was then fiance, and he had 2 children. And so they stayed like 4-5 days. She was mad. I said, do you got to play Luther Vandross all day, every day? Yes, I do. Now you can go pay for that $500-$600 room that they was charging because it was July 4th weekend, or you can stay free for here and listen to Luther. Big Luther and Little Luther. Big Luther and Little Luther. And I know all the songs just about. She can't stand Luther to this day. And listen to that. All I heard. Yeah, you wouldn't have to hear that if you wasn't staying here. You could have stayed $500-$600 and what they was charging you for the hotel. But she had a good time. I suppose got to cook breakfast for her and the kids. And, we spent the holiday together. And Navy Pier, not Detroit, Chicago does a lot for 4th of July. So she had a good time. We had a good time. I was like, oh, you're coming to Chicago to stay with me at my house here. It was nice. Although she still complained about Luther. We was on the boat with my dad. They played Luther. It's like, Lord, not Luther. Yes, Lord, it's Luther. So I am supporting Sheriff Swanson. Clerk and Register of Deeds. I am supporting Dominique Clemens. And I'm supporting Dominique Clemens for many reasons. One, he is bringing that antiquated system into the real world. I like that he's reachable. I like that he will find out what's going on. I like that, we talk about we have to bring some younger people in. There's now technology down there. There's now technology. And so I like the fact that I think he's fair. I think he listens. And I am supporting. And I knew Dominic before he was even when he was commissioner. I liked him then. And me and him would talk. So it's a good relationship with Dominic Clemens.
No, he seemed like he good people.
He is. And I'm supporting him. I go to his fundraisers. I support him.
Oh, Dominic good people.
Yeah, I've always liked Dominic. So I am supporting Dominic Clemens. Because we need some honesty and some integrity with these people.
You ain't lying.
And accountability.
Yes, facts.
And tell you that, and that's one thing, when people, you have to sometimes say, hey, I made a mistake. And one thing I will say, I'll go when we don't have to just leave the screen up. When we had Sheriff Swanson said, hey, I made a mistake and I need to right the wrong, when he talked about they were charging for the phones. The phone system in prisons for, money people were talking about. He didn't run away from it. He dealt with it. He faced it and said, I'm working to change it. Because we're all going to make mistakes. I'm going to make mistakes. It's not from my heart. It's going to be, from my mind, but it's never in my intention. Right. But people will misconstrue what you say and twist it to make it highlight something else.
Right.
But I support Dominic Clemens. Treasurer, they have Jack Belzer and Sam Muma. I am supporting Sam Muma.
Okay.
I am supporting Sam Muma. I have a Sam Muma is regional. Sam Muma has worked on. He is a union man. He has worked for the union for the city of Flint for forever. I am supporting Sam.
I seen him down at council.
Did you?
Yeah, and I got introduced to
him.
him.
I like Sam Muma. So I am supporting Sam Muma for treasurer. We're gonna go on down.
What you want me?
We're gonna go on down.
That's why you want me to go.
Yeah, right there. Okay. So the first ward, which has been a hot contested ward. So you have got 6 people who are, and I hate that they couldn't shrink that down.
Yeah.
And so somebody gonna get a little bit of all of them votes, and that's a lot. So yeah, Liberty Bell, John Billings. Liberty Bell is just a sweet. I like her. She bring them
good
kids
people.
with all that hair.
Good people.
Who would call them all that hair?
Good people.
Yeah, I like Liberty Bell. She's young. I like John Billings.
I met him at council. Another good individual.
And he was loyal to Councilman May.
Yes, he was.
We have the appointed person, Leon L. Alameen. He's running. We have Cynthia Haynes. She has advocacy for the women or people in prison and women for prison. Carol McIntosh, full disclosure, I've always said Carol is like my cousin. I've always said that. And then Rosemary Morrow. Rosemary does some great work. I hate that it was, if I could see 2 who were to go through. If you were to get Carol or Rosemary, I think you would, those who I support. Rosemary does great work and Carol does too. Carol has a lot of experience. Carol is my cousin. I've tried to stay out that race because the first ward has got to, they will be picking their people. But the women, I think this is the year of the woman.
I do too.
You think that too? I believe in that. And I like that. I think they bring different things to the table. And like I said, literally that whole list, I know everybody. I know everybody on that list. And so first ward has got some hard choices. It's the year of the woman. And so hopefully we will, if the list gets down to Carol and Rose, I'm good with that. I'm good. So, but first ward is whoever has it, they get it. They need to fight for that ward. They need to fight. And I do want to dispel some of the things, because I remember when I was running, people kept saying, "Oh, she doesn't live in Flint." Stop that. But everybody that been to my house, literally everybody has been to my house, and I'm not kidding. Before I ran, and people were trying to say, "Oh, well, Carol doesn't live in the first ward." They need to stop that. Liz, I used to be on Cranwood growing up, because me and Carol close. We were driving before we had driver's license, and her mother lives on Cranwood. She's on Alma. Been there her whole life. Her whole life. She does have rental properties with her brother. So people need to stop spreading lies. Because it was the same, I heard the same thing with me. If you own more than one, you can't own or have your name on more than one property. Now, I got multiple properties my name is on. And so I think when people try to limit that and add stuff in, let them run their race. Carol lives in the first ward. She's been in the first ward her whole life, entire life. That's the fact. Now, if you want to visit her, inbox her. Maybe she'll have you out on the patio. I don't know, but she lives there. I would not support her. I don't care if she's my cousin or not. Or like cousin, best. I don't know what you call it. But if your mamas were best friends, her and my mother are still best friends. Mm-hmm. Her mother and my mother. I would not support her if she was not living in the first ward proper. I would not. And matter of fact, by her mama house getting worked on, Aunt Dot is living with her. Mm. And so, God bless her. I don't know if I ever told you, I said my mother came home from the hospital, and her mom and my mom is so close. My mother was like, "Look, you try to make me do everything that's right, like do physical therapy 3 times a week." Yes, I am. Yes, ma'am, I am. Why she have Aunt Dot come pick her up? Not once, but twice. I'm like, "Hey, Dorothy, how you gonna come pick her up?" "Well, I had to come get your mama." I'm like, but that's how close they are. They're like sisters. Mm. So I want to say that first ward, they've got some, and all of them just about, they are actually all, even Leon has an advocacy there, work that they're doing. So I think, they've got a lot of people who are, first ward is busy. So first ward has been neglected and denied to get what they want because of Mays. They held back. Those homes being torn down, Mays started that list. Mm-hmm. Mays. I mean, just, you just didn't get on that list. That was approved in 2022. Mm. It was approved. So that probably had nothing to do with Leon. It did not. That list was put on a week. We voted to give the $16 million to the land bank for the teardown. So that was Mays. Mays did a lot. He did a lot. But he was, it was told that as long as he was in that ward, nothing would be done, that the mayor stated he would stop it. And yes, I heard, I'm not talking hearsay. This was the fact. Mm. This was a fact. So let's go back onto the list, because it's a couple more. I got you. Proposal. Hold on, okay, go back up. Because listen, Summit Mass Transportation MTA renewal proposal. I am supporting that. I am voting yes to support the renewal of the MTA, because a lot of people use that in our community. And I am supporting the renewal of the millage. I am doing for the MTA authority millage. I am supporting that. Let's go on to the next one. Genesee County Senior Service millage renewal. I am also supporting that. When it comes to seniors, we have an older population here. And not only do we have an older population that's here, our population as seniors have a difficult time keeping up with their prescriptions, their food, their water bills, their consumers bill, and so I am supporting the millage for the seniors. So can we go to the next one? I got you. Okay, this one was kind of the Genesee County Central Dispatch proposition for 9/11 system funding. Shall the County of Genesee be authorized to assess a charge on all landline, wireless, and voice over the internet protocol service users of the county of $3 per month for each of the 5 years of the 2025 to 2029. Is that 5 years? 5 years. Right. Yeah, it's still before they say 25 through 29. Inclusive to be distributed exclusively for funding 911 emergency services dispatched within Genesee County, including facilities, equipment, maintenance, and operating costs. You're on that one. Because one thing we hear about in the city of Flint, I have been to the 911. I support this. I literally sat there with the headphones on and have a good relationship, with the director there. People in Flint feel like when they call 911, what was the song?
911 is a joke.
Yeah. But I went there to see, and it's not 911. We don't have, and I'm going to tell you, we didn't have ambulances that they could dispatch to for more than 24 hours. That's not 911's fault. That is an issue with the city of Flint fault. That's not 911.
I mean, I see it too.
Yeah, and then the city did an exclusive contract with an ambulance service that, guess what, went out of business 4 or 5 months later. Why would you give an exclusive contract for that? Then also we look at
went out of business.
They went out of business. That's that. They had all kinds of problems. So people didn't know. You called 911. There was no ambulance to dispatch. They had none that were available. And then the city decided, Mayor Neely signed an exclusive contract. It's in the news. I didn't put it up. You can Google it. They took pictures all out in front of the fire station too when they did it with the guy. And then it went out of business. We were not receiving. We were going. We did not have services for 24 hours at a time at points. So if you call 911, you were not going to get an ambulance. And so there has been issues with. That's why Flint has purchased 3 ambulances. Why would Mayor Neely even sign a contract exclusive to them? So what does exclusive mean? That means no other ambulance service could come in because they have wherever, I forget their name, that's out of business, had an exclusive contract, but then went out of business. So that was just, you don't play with people's lives. So I remember speaking with Chief Barton, and Chief Barton stated, he was like, hey, Tonya, we're having to, because they're paramedics, EMTs, I'm sorry, EMTs, licensed EMTs, and the fire department has got 5 paramedics who are licensed. And so he's like, look, we telling the people, if you have an emergency and someone has a vehicle, get in the car. If you call 911, we get there, because they would dispatch the fire trucks. They would have the people follow, the fire truck would be going in the front, and they'd have the car following behind them to get to the hospital. That was the most ratchet, I'm going to say ghetto stuff I had ever seen. It was just terrible. So you need 911. We send a fire department, and they're telling you get in your car and drive, because there was no ambulance available. None. So 911, that's a conscious decision. If you want to pay that, I don't know how they really tax it. If you have a landline, if you have a cell phone, so I still have a landline. So would I be paying the extra $3 per month on my landline and on my cell phones per cell phone? I mean, come on, I'm not really feeling that one. So can you mute it for just a second? This is my sign. This is an emergency. Okay, I'm sorry, y'all. If my kids call, I'm taking their call. My kids and my parents. So that was my son. And I thought it was an emergency. It was not. He's like, first thing, he didn't even say hello. Hey, you doing your show? Yes, I am. Oh, okay. Well, I got Christian this. Okay. My older kids think they the parents of the younger child.
Before we started, that was my daughter to call.
Your daughter?
I was here to call me. I call her by her nickname.
Oh, well, you call her Fatty.
Yeah, she gonna be pissed when she see this. She can't stand that. Oh, you gonna get me?
Probably because she's a little chunky
yeah,
baby.
Oh my goodness. No, look, I just had caught her. I ain't gonna say it. she gonna be. She was a little baby. She gonna be mad.
He did answer the phone. Hey,
Yeah.
daddy.
Yeah.
So I thought my son's call was important, and now it was not. He done bought the youngest that's now going to college some he probably don't need because they spoil him. Literally, they spoil him. Matter of fact, I love my kids. I do because the older kids now, I don't have any grandkids. They were taking the younger one school shopping because they thought I stressed him out. I didn't understand his style. I'm like, go ahead. But the better part of it, they spent their own money. So they would go not grocery shop, but school shopping. And this is what they do every year. Take their younger brother school shopping. They have my kids make very good money and they're very close. And they're like, no, we take them school shopping. I'm like, have at it. And the joke is, Mom, your job, y'all make no money. My kids make 5 times what I make on city council. The 2 oldest are 5 times. And they kind of laugh about it, But when you have wonderful kids, and I love all 3 of my kids. Mm-hmm. So anyways, so we were getting back to, the 911. Mm-hmm. That's going to be your decision. Whatever you choose, if you want, there's a surcharge that they're charging on it. And so I am voting yes, but I'm not telling anybody else to. You got to vote your conscience. I am voting yes on that. And then I do want to say, too, we had it up. You had in the one race for, was it Kildy's 8th district? Mm-hmm. In 8th district, I am supporting Pamela Pugh, Dr. Pamela Pugh. I am supporting Dr. Pamela Pugh for that district. So I do want that to be known. I've never met, Mott Collier was the mayor in the 80s. Mm-hmm. For Flint. I think he did a 1 term or the end of a term or something. And then the other one, is it Rivet? Rivet.
She got signs all over Flint.
Yeah. And so does Slockett.
Yeah, all over. I see them all over.
And at wherever you stop at and you waiting at a light, they're there. If you look to the right, they're there. You're going to see those signs.
All over. Even all over.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but that is the voting ballot that, I put up so everyone can see. And Mickey went through we did it together. Teamwork makes the dream work. So you can go to find out, what's on the ballot. And so I would suggest before you go do your work, you can even just put in Google and, yes, Collier is running. That race has gotten nasty because Dan Kildee came out to speak against Collier. And I've seen on some ads. So some of these races have gotten. Dan Kildee came out to speak against Collier. So this is the worst negative race that he's ever seen since he's been in politics. And so some of them are like, look, I'm just here for the comments.
For sure.
I'm just here for the comments.
Oh, so it done got real nasty.
It has. He did a whole commercial. He's got a commercial.
Wow.
He has a commercial. Congressman Kildee has a commercial speaking to former Mayor Flint, Matt Collier, making comments that he said were misleading and weren't truthful. So it's gotten real. It's gotten real. So anyway, so that one will go on to whoever, one of them out of that race, which will be Dr. Pamela Pugh, Matt Collier, or Rivet. One of those 3 will be the Democratic choice. We'll move on to the general in November. So that is that. So let's go on to, so we did that. Okay. Voters, we are going to go on to my favorite pastor now. Not just because he's cool. We're going to go through Pastor Jannard Lakes. And I want to say, when I had seen, when I go to people's church, I stay for the whole service. I don't do the come in I go to worship. That's just the way I've always been. If I'm visiting your church. And
right here, I got it.
Yeah. So when I go there, children there, young people, it be kids, and I love singing that because we have to sow back into our youth. We have to, and we're losing in the city of Flint our youth at an alarming rate to where they're just not sitting at home, sleeping in their beds. We just had Monday a 3-year-old and a 13-year-old who were shot at about 1 o'clock in the morning. And then we had the week before, 12-year-old Trinity, who was sleeping in her bed, who lost her life because of gun violence. So the gun violence is real. And there was an article that the mayor had did an interview with the deputy chief, and they were talking about gun violence and gangs. And then we had two shootings right after that. And matter of fact, the same day that there was a shooting of a 3-year-old and a 13-year-old, a 26-year-old the same day was gunned down and was killed. There were two men who were shooting at each other. And so that day, Monday, 3 people were shot. One was a fatality, but the young girls are recovering. The one was sent home, I think, like a day or two. The other one had to have surgery to her leg. But how you go into kindergarten, you've been shot? I mean, come on. I mean, with the violence against children, you know, and I'm charging this one to Chief Green. You know, you got a gang violence. Why aren't you being more aggressive about it? They had a whole hit list. Why aren't you being more aggressive about it? It often doesn't matter until it hits your family where it kicks in. But why is he not doing more about it? Why don't we have, I didn't even look at this microphone. Why don't we have you still here? Okay. So why don't we have a gang task force when children are literally in their homes at 1 o'clock in the morning and they get shot? They're not in the street. They're at home within the safety of their walls of their home, and they're getting shot, and some are getting killed. Chief Green, what are you doing about it? What you're doing ain't working. You have an important job. What are you doing? And then I'm tired of the excuse, well, you can't stop these kids from shooting. Yeah, you can. Where's your intel on the street for the gangs? These kids, and they don't care whoever's in the house or the house nearby, they don't care. So it's not isolated to just one person. I'm going to shoot you, or like the old mobster movies when you see Left Eye Larry, you just gonna shoot him. No, they getting whoever and wherever you're at. And they're innocent victims. And when you have this problem, what are you doing about it? What are you doing? Not just for Chief Green, but he does need to have a gang task force. Parents have to stop being friends with their kids. You need to be a parent. Well, he gonna say this, and when she did this, I can't control her. What? Look, they beat my butt. I remember I had a friend. My mother told me, "You're gonna be with that fast tail girl," and meant it. And meant it. Wasn't I had enough good sense to know not to talk back, or if I was talking back, I spent a lot of time when she said, "Who you talking to?" The wall. That was a response. Who you talking to? The wall. I spent a lot of time talking to the wall, and I learned when my parents and grandparents and my aunts, it was just as bad. It was like everybody was all the women were the same. They didn't play, and you didn't play with them. Well, I can't do nothing about her. I can't do nothing about him. What does that mean? I don't understand. I will give it that our children have been poisoned with lead, and the system has failed them as usual because children and people in challenging social demographics, poverty levels are left out and then later studied. These children were poisoned. We know that lead in the mind causes violent tendencies to happen more. We talked about that last week. But my issue My issue with the violence with these kids is you feel like nothing is being done because it keeps happening. They had a whole hit list, and some of the kids had already been killed on the list, had already been killed. They had their nicknames or whatever they nickname, first name, last name, and street address. Street address. Banbury was on there where 2 young youths lost their lives.
Damn.
Yeah, and we looked, Pearson Road was on that 1370 Pearson Road was on there. And so we can no longer just wait. So I was on social media. I'm friends with Pastor Lakes. And I had missed, I was looking on there and he had between church services, he was having a gun violence, or he wanted to speak with parents, of the youth, young men, which now you need to have. My thing was, well, where's that for young girls? Because they be out there. Y'all seen them videos with the marathon station on the corner of Saginaw and Carpenter Road where they fight and they don't care. They skirts, wigs be flying. It was another fight on the corner. What's that store? Fleming Road and Pearson Road. Skirts fly. Look, they were standing up on the top of a car, with the gun, doing like, and the chicks with the young girls were just, they don't care. They fight. They don't care. Sunoco, 2021, before I was elected, you saw the girls up there fighting. So we have a problem. And so he had said he was having a service. He did have a service. We had a meeting. And so people started tagging people in this post. And in this post, a lot of the family I knew.
Wow.
I knew the moms who had lost their kids due to gun violence. The balloon releases that I've been to, the Forever 16. I remember Jamaica's friend, Deborah, lost her son. And you play it back like, what could you have done, differently? And then the trauma that the kids in the house dealt with, because the gun violence doesn't just stop. Whoever they after, if you send them to stay with another relative, to change them, to get them out of that situation, they shoot that house up too. And in the neighbors' houses might get shot because they're not good shots. They're terrible shots. So it doesn't matter when you send them, now some of them, if you have a relative, they're trying to send their kids out of town. If they have a family that will host them,
right,
to change. But then you have these kids coming with these problems though. And so we look at the juvenile center they built up on
Pasadena.
Yeah, which they knew our kids have lead problems. Yeah. We're going to put millions into this facility, but they wouldn't put millions into dealing with the lead. Alternative uses for dealing with lead. And we need lead court.
And see, that's the thing that I think we don't talk about. We do a lot of wasted money for things that we know hurt our community. Where's the money at? Why can't we get money out of them places in the places that help our community?
Absolutely.
That's what, I think it's a lot of these programs that I've seen. It's not helping Flint. That it could have been wasted and could have been put to better use.
Absolutely. And these children, especially, but they need therapy. They need therapy. Therapy is a good thing. I tell everybody you need to go to therapy. I mean, therapy is just a good thing because you need to have someone to give you the tools. And then there are people say, oh, all you need is God. Yeah, you need God, but you need therapy too. What makes you think God didn't send the therapist? The therapists go to church too. Get all the tools, be physically, spiritually, and mentally equipped. Because it takes it all. So it is back to Pastor Gennaro before we play the video. I'm looking at these names and I'm like, how did I not see this? And I'm like, I have done programs. I don't know if I sent the picture. Last one that I did was right before COVID. And we helped so many girls. We did it for some years. And there were, did it with Mercedes Kenny, Tracy Frazier, Trishelle Young, Cookie, real name Ida Simmons, who were women who we volunteered with our own time and our own money to mentor these young girls. And we did it for years. I always did it in the school system also, that I mentored young girls. And so groups and individually. And so he had this program. So I'm like, wait a minute. you know what? We did not, we need to be doing something. It's time. Now we out of COVID. COVID kind of put a pause on everything. So I reached out to Pastor Lakes and said, look, we need to meet because we got a problem here. Especially when I looked at he was, those women were tagged in that post that he had made. And it was like 170 like comments, I believe. It was large. And I'm like, I don't even know we have an epidemic. We have a gun violence epidemic. So I had been telling people that I was going to Baltimore, Maryland. And so I had to put it off for two things. One was because my mother caretaker, we had to get her a new one. We're working on getting her hired. And she had a very short notice that she would not have one, like a 5-day notice. So I had to get a new caretaker. And so we're working on that. And but I am going. But maybe it was God's timing, because when I met with Pastor Lakes, he said, I want to go with you. I'm like, road trip, because I want to bring something good back. What I learned at the scene with the 12-year-old, the entire family and friends come out to the scene. And the grief is overwhelming. And there was a young man, I'm just going to say the first letter of his name, D, who the aunt kept taking him back across the street and bringing him back as he kept going across the street. She can't be dead. She can't be dead. And, just the anger, him biting his lip. And the aunt was trying to talk with the police, and he wouldn't allow her to talk with the police. So he would bring her back over. And so I was walking over there. I said, well, can y'all grab him so she can talk? The men, like 6 or 7 men. And she said, they looked at me, they said, we tried. And then he won't let us, we can't say nothing to him. Mm. We can't. He ain't listening to us. Mm. It was like 6 or 7 men, just on this side. That didn't include everybody else.
Right.
And so he had his shirt off with this thing where, when they get angry, they rip their shirts off. I don't know what that's about. Maybe they didn't watch too many videos, or I don't know. I don't know what that's about. And so he was angry. There was another young man. So I went up to him. I said, I'm Tonya Burns. And what's your name? He gave me his name. I said, can I hug you? And he said, yes. He said, yes. Mm. So I hugged him and we prayed a few times. That young man is hurt and in pain. That was his sister, who was killed while she was sleeping in bed. And so we get a counsel person who says, I shouldn't be at scenes praying. Well, I'm a woman of faith. I'm a prayer. Now, they pray before every council meeting and then raise all kind of hell. All kind of hell. All kind. I have always, when you check my resume first before you run your mouth, because I have always done mentor programs and they've been effective. And it warms my heart to see some of these young girls, when you see them out, and I miss me, because you give them back. And so with Pastor Lakes, there will be another mentorship program. It will be hosted through his church, Spirit of Victory, and I will be helping him with that program. And there are other women who will be helping. So far, there will be, hey, Nisi, Pastor Moore's wife. I see her on there. I know her forever and ever and ever. And so looking for women. Everyone is not meant to mentor women. If your spirit ain't right, there'll be nothing else on them. They don't. And so there have been women who are volunteer. One, we will have a cooking program. And Mercedes has a license to do cooking. She used to cook for the prison. The jails. So she knows she cooks. So we will have a cooking course for the women. We will have a life skills. And so we're going to have a whole curriculum for them. And it will be with Pastor Lakes. So, and this just rolls out of, sometimes you got to do your research and do all of this. But I'm like, you can handle the guys, but what you got for the young girls? And so if you are a female, a woman, and don't, you want to help, reach out to me, please. Reach out to me. If you have something to add to it. So one of the components that we are adding is making sure these young people not only are spiritually fed, they're getting therapy. they're getting real life skill, basically wraparound services. So this is a work in progress. And I was talking about the program Cahoots in Oregon, and then also the program that they have in Maryland. That we have to, I've always said it's going to take the community to save the community. And it just is. It's going to do that. So if you are interested in helping, now if you out there still doing stuff you ain't got no business, don't call me. Don't do that, because I'm not doing it. Make sure you can add something to value to their lives, and let it be sincere from your heart, because everybody ain't meant to mentor. It's like I ain't meant to work on cars. I'm not a mechanic.
And I agree with you 1,000%, because and this what I hate in our community, and I'm just saying in ours, and we'll let fools become mentors, man, and just in general.
You are correct. We will, and everybody is not a mentor.
Sure,
they're not. I used to after school, and my husband be like, "Why are you getting home so late?" And, I would tutor kids for free, and then I did a mentor program because it was so needed. I remember having a little boy in my class that I knew he needed to sleep for 2 to 3 hours to even function, because at the house he was staying at, both of his parents were incarcerated. And the grandma had so many of her kids. It's the family, it's just the dynamics. And he would come get us 2 hours of sleep, 2-3 hours. And then I would have to feed him. So I always had a little food, so he could eat, and then he was fine.
Right.
And so teaching was not normal in a Black school where the population was Black predominantly. It was all Black with maybe some Hispanics that were, maybe a couple. That's it.
You was a teacher.
Yeah, I taught. Yeah, I did.
All the school systems went down.
Yeah, So, I mean, you get the dynamics. I remember teaching a second grade, third grade split, and I'm like, why are these kids so angry? And this was in Saginaw, and the kids, I started out subbing at first. That's how I started, and I was like, oh, and I'm like, well, let me switch. Let me go for my degree, my certification. These kids were angry. Come to find out, I had 9 kids who had an incarcerated parent. Both, either the mom and dad were incarcerated, or a parent was dead, or both were dead, but they were not living with their parents. So I had 9 kids, and we did a weekly letter writing program that I gave stamps for. I used to go to Tim Hortons every morning in Saginaw. Was it Jefferson? And the guy, the man, he's like, you come here every morning to buy donuts. Why are you, And I said, I buy them for my students because they needed something to eat. I give them milk and donuts, and I had fruit. Tim Hortons started giving me the donuts for free.
Wow.
So they would give me, I would go to the drive-thru on my way to school in the morning, and they would give me 3 dozen free donuts every morning because they went to the kids. I don't eat donuts. Yeah, I supported Don Donuts.
Right.
I'm not a donut eater, y'all.
She tried to bring them to city council and give everybody
because they kept saying I was serving donuts. I will serve. Look, I'm not too good to serve anybody. Okay. Yes, I serve donuts. I don't even eat donuts. I don't even eat sweets. I don't drink pop candy. I don't have a sweet tooth. I don't. A week, and you counting,
Once I get through the week, I can make
myself.
myself.
So when we talk about what our kids need, sometimes we gotta go outside of. I don't even when I clock out, I'm done. That ain't never been me. I got in trouble with my husband because he was like, "Who kids you buying stuff for?" And this was before all the backpack free programs. It wasn't that. Right. If you didn't have a backpack, I bought a backpack. If you didn't have shoes, I bought shoes. If you didn't have a coat, I bought a coat. Clothes, I bought clothes. I remember being left in my classroom when I was teaching first grade. And this family, the father was like 6'6", and the mom, they was a lot to deal with. I reported him to Child Protective Services and our social worker at the school. And so the principal, with his scary behind, gonna send them to my classroom with me by myself for the conference. He was ghosted. He was gone. I'm like, Lord, it's just me and you in this room and these parents, because I didn't turn them into Child Protective Services, because the little girl had, and I've said this, I think I told this story before. She had on her seat, I thought she had urinated on herself. And I couldn't figure out where the puddle of water was coming from. And she had not urinated, because we talk about, how to keep your body clean, brushing your teeth, hygiene. Hygiene is a part of your curriculum. And so she wanted to be clean. And so she had washed her socks out with a bar of soap before she went to school. They had not dried. And so as she walked to school, they froze on her feet.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry about that, y'all. I didn't want to do a little. Thank you, Mickey, for having my back. So her socks had froze on her feet, and so the puddle was because they had unthawed while she was in class. And so, yes, I turned in protective services. Absolutely did. And the social worker was gone out the class, and the principal. They left me there with that family by myself. The mom and the dad. There was none but me and the Lord and my faith. And the mother was just going off. And I grabbed the father's hand and the mother. I said, before we start, I said, I need y'all. I said, I want to help you. I want to help you. But pray with me first. And I prayed with him. And I told him, yes, I called protective services. I did. And I would do it again. I said, because she has to come to school clean. You don't want to be the child in class that people saying, oh, you stink, your clothes dirty, or your clothes is raggedy. My kids were taken care of. And I'm being honest, my mother-in-law and her sisters bought my kids so many clothes. It was ridiculous. My kids never wore all the clothes that was purchased. I was giving away stuff with still tags on it. My mother-in-law spoiled her grandchildren rotten. My kids couldn't even wear all the stuff that they had. And so I would always save and pack up clothes and stuff. But I told the parents, because I didn't have to spend school clothes really, because my mother-in-law, that was her thing. And so I told the parents, what they would have to do, what protective services was going to, require them to do, but I would work with them. I said, I will buy her a coat. She didn't have a coat. She was wearing a sweater. And so I bought her 7 days worth of clothes, underwear, socks, shoes, so on. And then another teacher, went and bought her some things. So it kind of catches on when we care for our community. And the little girl is grown now. She's an adult now. And the smile on her face that she had 2 pairs of shoes to come to school and socks and underwear, it changes how she felt and how she flourished. And then also with the parents. So I didn't have any more problems with her. And she had 2 more siblings in that school at the time. And the other teachers came together to help that family. What I'm saying is sometimes we have to get involved. We have to get involved. And sometimes you got to move forward on your faith and not be scared. And I was on my faith. That man was 6'6". And everybody was talking about he was cussing out people beforehand. He would cuss you out. I didn't have that experience. And I told him, yes. And I was just me. Yes, I turned you into Child Protective Services. Your child's feet unthawed in my classroom, her socks. So if you are looking to do some good, and if everybody ain't meant to be a mentor, I'm just saying. But if you want to help, the program will be through a Spirit of Victory, Pastor Jernard Lakes, because it's time. We can no longer depend on, let's say, the system to help our children, because they're not. They're not helping our children. Our children are forgotten. Matter of fact, they're sending our children over to Pasadena to the nice juvenile detention center. That they listen, they filling it up. I know somebody over there, a child was born into the lead crisis, that he is being helped. This child, they didn't charge him with 8 felonies, and he's 15 and charged him as an adult. A 15-year-old who saw his father, who was shot in the head and in the stomach, and went right over there afterwards and saw the guts and then the intestines out and the brain matter out. And this kid is having problems now. He was 5 at the time of the lead crisis. So I want to play. Let's go on and play the past. So If you want to be a mentor of Pastor Lakes, if he out there, and Mrs. Lakes, I love y'all. But let's play the video.
I got you.
Tonya Burns. Come on, let's give God praise for her. Come on, I need you to stand up so they can see who you are. Come on, let's give God praise for her being with us. Listen, come on up here and stand with me. Come. Come on, Carol. Come. And then Dante, you come on, because we're gonna cover it all. Amen. Listen, come on, stand up here with me. So she heard about the summit that we did last Sunday. She reached out and she said, we got to get together. And I said, okay, we got to get together. And so we went out and we had lunch. We sat down, we ate. And she says, some of the things that you're doing, they're already doing in Baltimore. And that they asked me to come down. And she says, they have these teams that go out and minister to people when there are violent scenes. They send out someone who's a social worker, a counselor, someone who's a pastor. And she says, so we're going to go down so we can look at it. And then we need to bring it back to the city. And so I thought about you. And so as we were sitting there, she says, well, what do you have for the young ladies? And I said, well, really, I don't have too much for the young ladies. We have something for, girls chat but we don't really have something for the young ladies. And she said, well, we're gonna put something together. She brought some more literature because, like I said, Spirit of Victory, I believe that God is calling us to the forefront, but we got to be ready. And we will be a part of what God is doing, that the assignment that is with us. And so there is a program, because we were talking about some solutions. So we don't get together. I know sometimes y'all think we just get together and play dominoes, but we don't. Even though I be spanking Carol, but anyway. But we be talking about what can we really do to make an impact. And so we start talking about different programs as far as carpentry and, drywall and painting and things that we can take young guys and get them involved in. And Tonya said, well, there's a program that a guy is doing on the east side, that he got a group of kids that he used, and they built 4 houses. And we're going to go over and see them. And if they're doing it on the east side, we're going to duplicate it to do it on the north side. And so I want you to know that when we get together, God will give you creative ideas. If you be willing to say, God, I need to be a carrier of your glory to take it to a dark world. Me and Carol had some conversations. She's running for First Ward as the councilman of First Ward. Now, what I love about these ladies, Carol done been here a few times, ain't never asked for a mic to come up to campaign. Same thing with Tonya. That they don't show up for political reasons. They show up because, God, if you're going to say something to me about what I got going on, and you're going to help support what I got going on, and you're going to strengthen my life, that's why they there. And so I want you women to know publicly, y'all got my support. They don't come and budge their way to the front. They have to sit on the front row. They sit in the back and don't say nothing. So, Father, in Jesus' name, point your hands to them. Father, if they have been touched by what happens in our community, and Father, you're raising up those that would be a voice, Father, even for the voiceless. I pray now, Holy Spirit, that you would cause them to be carriers of your glory. And that every weapon politically and spiritual wickedness in high places that have been formed against them shall not prosper. And so, Lord, we pray a hedge of protection around them, that your angels encamp around about them, that, Father, they would never grow weary or tired. But because you called them for such a time as this, we pray for their strength. We pray that you would give them the plan, Father, not only of the people, but also of your heart. We thank you that you would cause them to be carriers of your glory, that change will begin with us. We thank you for what you're doing by your Spirit, that it is marvelous in our eyes. And we give you glory and praise for it. In Jesus' name, amen. Come on, give God praise for these women. Come on.
Yeah,
okay, so if you want to mentor any other, it will be through the Spirit of Victory Church. I didn't know cooking was such a big thing when people start sharing the fact that when I was sharing for the, what do you call it? Flint Pal. That got like 300 shares. So there will be cooking, and it'll probably have to be cooking for the young men and the young women. And Mercedes will be we'll be doing that. And it was funny because Pastor Lakes was like, is she gonna be doing that cheesecake? She'll show them how to make the Mercedes cheesecake. Yeah. So that's one of the curriculum. Yes.
I didn't know that's who that was.
Yeah.
I was at
Mercedes cheesecake.
I didn't know, and I've been around.
Is your mic on?
Yes, and I didn't know that's who
that's
that
her.
was. Now that you just said.
Let me tell you, when my son, the one that just called, I thought it was an emergency. And first thing he says, Mom, are you on with your show? Yes, then why are you calling? And when he was a toddler then, because after I got done, you can't drink wine while you're nursing. So he was a toddler. When I was done nursing, I had Mercedes cheesecake in my budget. I was going to college though. I was going to school, and I wasn't drinking good wine then, y'all. It was box wine. I budgeted for Franzia box wine and a Mercedes cheesecake because that was my vice. So that's what I had: cheesecake and wine. I budgeted, but it wasn't good wine. It was box wine, y'all. I'm just saying. So I made that was in my 20s. I was in my 20s when I had him. 20. Yeah, I was in my 20s. So back then, your girl was drinking box wine, and box wine is not like it is now.
For sure.
Not at all.
Wrong, get some ripple.
Right. And I think I was drinking Zinfandel. And so I would have cheesecake. That was my quiet time. That's how I paid myself, I would say. After I did everything I could do as a wife, as a mom, and then my job. My thing was, let me have a little slice of little cheesecake. And she had the little petite cheesecakes. And so I would buy the little petite one. I think they were $16 then, the petite ones were. And then the box wine was $12.99.
Made it work.
Was it $12.99?
I remember, man, my cousin survived off at college. He was at college. I used to always go down there with him. He had Black and Mild, fried chicken.
Man, what he was doing, he had fried chicken too.
Man, listen, that's
he was doing good.
No, you ain't listen to the sides. Garlic bread, that was it. I'm talking about. It was like
I had a whole meal then.
Man, listen, we survived.
They had fried chicken, y'all.
And garlic bread and no
he
sides.
Was like, I had ramen noodles, hot dogs, pork and beans. And he telling us we survived because we had only garlic bread and fried chicken. Mickey, stop.
That was it.
Okay. Everybody else anyways, I didn't do traditional college because I was sick.
Right.
I've had endometriosis. And I guess you never get rid of it,
Yeah.
but and so I couldn't. I was really sick. Thought I would never have children, and I had 3.
Wow.
So when they tell you that, I had 5 specialists telling me that, and the dye test. The Lord said something different. So, and I didn't even know I was pregnant at the time with my daughter because
that life juice was strong.
I thought I couldn't have children. It was funny.
That life
and I
juice
worked.
was
Denise
strong.
Moore is on there. She worked. Her and I at the time worked at J.C. Penney, and the women I worked with in my department kept telling me my boobs were bigger.
Just think.
And I didn't. I'm like, you don't pay attention when they, you know.
That life.
And they were right.
That life juice was strong.
Listen.
It was strong.
Listen.
Wherever that brother was.
Yeah, we're gonna move on.
Juice.
We're gonna move on for that. we're gonna move on from that.
Yes, ma'am.
So I am supporting Jan Marie Ira for 7th Ward. One, we need to get the media out of the corner. That is the most ridiculous resolution that was passed, along with the disorderly conduct resolution, where how can you correct the conduct of the public when the president of the city council's conduct is deplorable? Deplorable. So we're going to do some fact checking here. I didn't make this video. 8110 with the lion. Thank y'all for doing the clips. Y'all are journalists, you're on it, and I appreciate you. So let's play the fact check, because here is one of the things before we start. I'm sorry. When you want to be counsel, you should not be called hood rat, comma, a bitch, comma. You should not be told, what's up? What the F you, I'm going to say a fuck is what she said Candace did. The fuck you talking to? She's talking to Jerry Winfrey Carter. That's not what we need. We need to change the whole, the energy is just bad. Yeah. You know, it's just bad. You know, I get, you shouldn't be called ignorant or referred to as ignorant, out here ignorant, you know, referring to councilmen. It's just bad. And so what they don't do is punish themselves. When you had Liddell stand up to fight 3 grown men, but she wants to do a disorderly conduct. When Candace has constantly, repeatedly said, call people names, hood rat, snake, cussing. Now, so let's play the fact check, please.
Gotcha. I got the mute one.
Fomenting hatred, racial hatred again, just another day at the office. By the way, your avatar is pumpkin colored, not black. Look at him again. He's over there. And we know who he represents. This behavior is childish. I wouldn't want him representing me in anything. I wouldn't. Those words that were said, which were hateful, they were hateful. I didn't file the police report on you, Doug, but I would have been happy to do it. The residents did, and also the sergeant did hear it when you said N. He told Chief Green. So for those who want to really do something, file a complaint with the Michigan Department of Civil Rights, because that's where we change things. There's a lot of things that come here in verbiage that's used, but there is no place for racial hatred by a man who claims he's the savior of people. Hey, snake bite. Fomenting hatred, racial hatred again, just another day at the office. By the way, your avatar is pumpkin colored, not black. Look at him again. He's over there. And we know who he represents. This behavior is childish. I wouldn't want him representing me in anything. I wouldn't. Those words that were said, which were hateful, they were hateful. I didn't file the police report on you, Doug, but I would have been happy to do it. The residents did, and also the sergeant did hear it when you said N. He told Chief Green. So for those who want to really do something, file a complaint with the Michigan Department of Civil Rights, because that's where we change things. There's a lot of things that come here in verbiage that's used, but there is no place for racial hatred by a man who claims he's the savior of people. Hey, snake bite. Fomenting hatred, racial hatred again, just another day at the office. By the way, your avatar is pumpkin colored, not black. Look at him again. He's over there. Oh yeah, there's the part on there where she wants Councilwoman Jerry Murphy Carter. She's going to teach her how to be a lady. Full disclosure, Jerry Murphy Carter is my god sister. We had the same godmother. Jerry Murphy Carter is named after Aunt Jerry, and so she's going to teach her how to be a lady. Come on now, what are you doing? I mean, she doesn't have respect for her council people. She called me a hood rat. I'm like, really? Is that where you want to go? Are we gonna clean out your closet? Yeah.
You didn't want this one up, did
you? Yep. Let's play this one next because she protects. Doug has Sergeant Villarreal has made a complaint. He is coming, and we've seen what he's did to council. We see his hatred that he comes in there. He said that I'm not black, I'm orange. And what he does is the same thing that Trump does to Vice President Kamala Harris. She's not black. She's not black. Doug's did the same thing. Tonya Burns isn't black. I'm not black. The same thing where he said when they said that President Obama wasn't black. He wasn't from here. He wasn't from the United States. Doug does the same things that these other people have done. The difference is you have a black woman supporting Doug, which is Candace Mouchette. She has yet to denounce his behavior, which means she's encouraging it. I'm not black. He came in there and called people the N-word. And a sergeant of police department heard it. He told Chief Green. You had city workers, city employees heard it, and you heard residents heard it. Now, if you didn't want this to be said, you probably shouldn't have said it. She has not denounced that. She has not said, I denounce what he's saying. It is wrong. It should never be said. She is sitting in that seat saying, I'm accepting your hatred. And it's going to get worse with her in that seat. It's going, because this person does not stop. He sent another email. He's blaming the sergeant now. And like I have a relationship with the sergeant. So I guess now I'm supposed to be, I don't know. I'm supposed to be, according to him, I'm wrong for him making the comments. I didn't make you say what you said that came out of your mouth. You were blowing kisses at a heterosexual man. That was crazy. Why would you do that? He blew kisses.
I mean, but when you can get away with stuff, but what is so sad is people that look like me and you that goes along with that.
Defend that.
Yeah. So how, what can you do?
You can't. It is, and I'm gonna tell you. And I've had all kinds of people contact me and say, he's lucky he made it out alive.
Right.
His behavior. He denounces black women. I'm not black. Guess what? Vice President Kamala Harris is hearing. She's not black. When did she become black? Doug is doing the same thing. President Trump can tell about President Obama, and you aren't denouncing him. Then he called people the N-word, and I didn't turn them in. I would have been happy to turn them in. It wasn't me. The sergeant heard it. He has no reason to lie. And now then these little illusions like I'm buddy with the sergeant, like something going on. Get out of here. That man is doing his job. And I respect Sergeant Villarreal for doing his job and being honest. I respect that. He didn't cave into the garbage. He didn't. But for a black woman, Candace Mouchette, to agree with the race baiting because she wants to get the white base over in Mott Park, it's just dirty. It's dirty.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't have, my friends are not, if you come on my page in terms of you don't like white people, I'm gonna denounce you. I'm gonna get you together. And my friend, and if you my close friend, you may not be my friend anymore. I'm sorry. You're not gonna do that foolishness. I don't tolerate it. I'm gonna call it out, and depending, I don't know how far it's gonna go. I don't tolerate that. I just don't. I'm not tolerating that type of hatred. And she's tolerant, and she giggles and thinks it's funny. She laughs. They've caught her on video laughing and giggling as if it's funny. It's not funny. She will not denounce Doug. Will not. because she wants the white vote over in the college cultural area at any cost. And she wanted so bad, she wanted at the cost to Black people. She wants his vote at the cost to Black people. That's crazy. Play that video where she went and decided to, she was defending him because he's been on this for a long time, where he said, I was not Black. Tonya Burns is not Black. She's orange. Doug, you lucky that the Christ in me, because my mouth can, I could give that energy. I've chose not to give that energy. Chose not to. I'm not at the point to where I can pray for Doug right now. I'm not, because he's ridiculous. And you got another Black woman that I sit to my left who will do anything for that seat, including allowing a racist who's making racist remarks that I didn't report him. The sergeant with the Flint Police Department, stated it. And somehow that's my problem. No, I'm gonna talk about it. You want to be you want to be viral. I got time. So let's play the video where she defended him, because he's been doing all kind of little crazy stuff. Let's play it, Mickey.
Some things that I feel have been happening unfairly or feels a bit retaliatory against a resident of my ward, Mr. Doug Matthews. There was a meeting that occurred in which there were some questionable financial decisions from one of my colleagues. And ever since that meeting, my colleague has taken it upon herself to, it feels like it's a retaliation. Residents should not fear for their safety coming to meetings. Residents should not be retaliated against. Residents should not be called names and accused of things that they're not doing. We should not, and at the council, we use the word weaponize so often. So I want to say that colleague should not weaponize her position as a council person. She should not weaponize her race as a Black woman, and she should not weaponize her gender as a woman to create false narratives that could put people's lives in danger. I do call on my colleague today to certainly maybe change course, because there are a lot of things that are said about me that are not true, that I don't agree with, that I do not like. But what I cannot do is retaliate against members of this community, because they are still members of this community, regardless if we like what they're saying or how they're saying it. Now keep in mind, if my colleague was disrespected, and especially in a way that attacked her race or her gender, I would absolutely stand up for that colleague. But we cannot, again, weaponize these things against people. And please believe that just because we are Black, it doesn't mean we can't weaponize the current social capital that we have, with everyone being aware that Black people need to be respected. I wholeheartedly believe that we are in a good place society-wise as far as Black people being able to have a voice. But what we don't want to do is take that voice and begin to marginalize other people in the way that we're marginalized, nor use that voice in a way that when there really is an issue, people will not believe us, because we've already used that in a way that it was like, well, that wasn't the issue there, so how do we believe you now? And so again, I'm just here on behalf of Doug Matthews today to say that I would ask this board to review our meetings, if you've not already, and take a look at some of the actions that have been done toward him by my colleague. And just really, I don't know, take the appropriate steps to maybe make some suggestions as to what happens when a council person is retaliating toward a member of the public because they did not like their point of view. Thank you.
Back live.
She is delusional. Now, on there, if my colleague had been disrespected, okay. Mick, do we have the picture of when he said I was orange?
Oh, hold on.
I mean, how much? He's saying I'm not Black. You a Black woman, or you a Black woman. And so that wasn't disrespect enough. I mean, come on. I mean, go back. It's down. We passed it. Right there. Okay. Here we go. If my colleague was disrespected, then she would deal with it. She would basically denounce him. That is a lie. Doug put up. He was in the comments on this on one of our shows, my show in the morning, and oh, you know what? Maybe I need to screenshot it and send it back.
I have to go through this.
Oh, and so here she's saying, I was the problem. I go after Doug. She is delusional. This man blowing kisses at black people. He's sitting up there doing like this. And then he's going, crying. She's defending Doug and his behavior. That's not what we need on city council. That's not what we need. So he says, hey, Snakebite, fermenting racial hatred again. No, Doug.
Okay, it's on there.
No, Doug, that seems to be you. You know, just another day at the office for you. By the way, your avatar is pumpkin colored, not black. So I'm not black? She defending Doug? Candace, you defend him. Now, everything you gave this speech that was lies. You are defending him. He stated, I wasn't black. But you felt, because you want that seat so bad, so desperately, you willing to let a man who called a black woman orange stay in that seat. She is. She had no problem. She had no problem with that. None. Her whole speech, with her good talking self. Watching them people who talk fast like that. Because her agenda is, she spun that story. You know, you defended a race who continued to go on to call people the N-word, according to the reports of Sergeant Villarreal and the residents and some of the staff members.
But why they ain't did nothing to him if you know they didn't reported it?
He is trying to say now he has rights too. Isn't that funny?
Oh, he got the rights to call people the N-word.
Yeah, he wants the videotape and can't remember we put up the thing that he wants footage and all of that because he knows how to play the game. First of all, the mayor needs to denounce him also because him and his spouse worked on the campaign. Wow. He needs to denounce it.
Oh, so he worked for the mayor?
Yeah, absolutely. He supports him. He didn't work. His spouse worked for him. And so he needs to denounce it. Wow. Y'all just letting people call people the N-word. And when Mays did that, remember he did his arm up like that. Boy, everybody was the salute tonight. People had a fit, rightfully so. And I don't remember how Mays apologized or how he dealt with it. I think he was saying, I don't remember it all, but the Jewish community had a right to be upset. The black community got to quit accepting these black people who are not for black people and people, period. Because if he thinks that about black people, what does he think about everybody else? Okay. The 300,000 she claims didn't happen. I remember I told you, Ed Taylor came up there and said, we don't know how we got it. You know, that resolution, she is affiliated with that nonprofit. $300,000 was sent. It was passed in committee and sent to council. She brought it up there. Can we put the video up so we have that? So it is a for-profit. This is her. So she's got all these illegal mailings going out. There's been like 5 mailings. Who's sending out these 5 mailings? Remember Mays was talking about all these mailings going out. They're going out again in the 7th ward. She had 5 mailings go out. She has sold her soul. 5 mailings have went out in the 7th ward. 5 with this group. 5 mailings. Because Candace's vote is sold. She's selling herself out to Doug. She won't even denounce Doug. The police said he called him. I didn't say it. The police said it. I was in the back of the room. Now, it's funny how they can always hear when they up there in the diocese or Diaz or wherever, they can hear whatever they claim going back in where the residents and the audience is, but they can't, they can't never hear when one of them say something to one of us up there, but they can hear way in the back of the room.
Oh yeah, they hear.
Right. Don't be wrong
all
with stuff.
The time.
Be wrong.
Pick the wrong person. They still
be
with
wrong. I know every meeting Rich Jones gonna get put out, and I tell him every time you're gonna get put out, you owe me 2 margaritas and 3 tacos. Because you gonna get put out and you don't have to talk. So let's put up where they want to know where the resolution came from. And so Ed Taylor's the deputy chief of staff. This is the video, and we gonna hear them talk about where it came from. Let's hit it.
I got you.
Uh-oh. I ain't do it, Mr. Taylor. Uh-oh. Ted, it is.
So, request for information.
What's your request?
The request is that if you look at that resolution, look who signed it.
Hold on, let me look at it.
Okay, and look how it was presented. It was presented from the council.
Right.
So the administration don't have anything to do with that.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
So, resolution 240141, this resolution, did y'all support this resolution?
We don't have anything to do with it.
Did y'all review this resolution?
Don't have anything to do with it.
Yes. Request for information.
What's your request?
So did you know that as
Point of
member-
order.
What's
There
your
is
point?
just like screaming and shouting over here. I can't hear.
Please. Calling you to order. Thank you. Go ahead.
Okay, so did you know as a member of the ARPA ad hoc committee that we're at liberty to refer resolutions as we've done in the past? So I'll speak more about that on my time.
Okay. So are you aware that I've been applying or asking the ad hoc committee, and I have talked to you guys about a resolution for $300,000 for the food market. So
Request for information.
What's your request?
Did you know that, we were not on that category yet?
are you aware that we have approved a lot of resolutions and we wasn't in that category? But we approved them. So here, this resolution is for $300,000. Here we got a food market. Did this application go through the process?
Yes.
It did go through the process. What category is this money coming from?
Request for, so this comes out of youth job training and administration. They did have a recommendation for this, so I just want to correct administration about that. So I just want to be very, very clear.
Say that one more time, though.
I said, yeah, so this came through administration as well. And so, but this is coming out of youth training applications. What happened was the ARPA ad hoc committee, we went through the resolutions because unfortunately, when they are sent out from administration, they have varying amounts. So when some entities apply for, like say 100,000, administration might say, okay, give them 500,000. And then when some entities apply for 500,000, they may say give them 100,000. So this was one of the resolutions that the administration, so they did have input on this.
So if they had input, why wouldn't they have created the resolution and bring before council, since we was on this category versus the council doing it themselves?
Well,
as they have always brought resolutions that they was ready to be approved with signed agreements. Because usually, they did. No, they ain't signed on this one. Oh, it's not signed from.
So am I back on? So the answer to that question, why wouldn't they have created it? Because they didn't support it. Ed Taylor said, how many times? We don't have anything to do with that resolution. We don't have anything to do with that resolution. They didn't send it up there. Candace Machat and Liddell, they went to Dubuque, Iowa right after that together with her job from the Flint Development Center. They had nothing to do with that. And the administration was not supporting that. They just weren't. They just weren't. And so, Ed Taylor, you heard from Ed Taylor, Deputy Chief of Staff, his own remarks. He said we didn't have anything to do with that. Right. He didn't. So, vote Jan Marie Arbor for honesty, integrity. And so we can change the climate. We can get 810 out the timeout corner, along with TV5, TV12. We can get Mid-Michigan Now out. We can get the press back to wherever they need to be so that we have freedom of press, literally freedom of press. So one of the comments, and we're going to talk about the disorderly. I did not support the disorderly conduct. I'm going to tell you why. I didn't support it because week by week, the police, and I've never seen this before, are weaponized to go against the residents. So there was a, yeah, put that up and then we're going to take it down. So Liddell Lewis posted, and he can make it big. She made a post and someone sent this to me. And her post stated, who votes against safety, yet says people are showing up to their home, putting Apple trackers on their vehicle, and their life has been threatened. We must be confident that our representatives are voting in the best interest of the people. Voting against safety is not optional. First of all, using the police resources and you don't need it when you're jumping out of folks is shameful and disgraceful. So I did not vote for, and I don't know who else voted, but my vote, I did not vote. I don't have no problem saying, and I'm going to tell you why. One, yes, those events, because she was, and Councilman Burns filed a police, but sure did, and I also put it where they said they wanted to hang me. But I'm not soft to where I need to have police escort. That's not me. And I wouldn't base that when I know we have children being murdered in their homes while they sleeping. Same reason why she said those children should have jobs. Where's a child, 12-year-old and 3-year-old going to be at 1:00 in the morning? Where they should be at home in the bed. So she needs to understand the difference in it, but she keep coming for me. She needs to stop that. So disorderly conduct, no, I did not support. Can we put it in disorderly conduct? I got you. So there was a section of it. So it was subjective. Everybody would end up in jail. Mm-hmm. Everybody would end up with a disorderly conduct. Okay. And they tailored it for themselves. And no, go down. Right there. So at the bottom of it, can you, where it says number 12, which was ridiculous. Number 12 states, Mickey got to bring it up, y'all, because I can't see it. I got you. 1 second. So number 12 in the disorderly conduct, it says intentionally makes or causes to be made any open exposure. No, not that one. It's another one. Oh, hold on, go back up. Okay, number 7, I'm sorry. Knowingly harasses any other person. Harass is defined as any repeated nonverbal conduct that is specifically intended to frighten, embarrass, or anger the persons or persons who are the object of that conduct. The person accused has reason to know his or her, can it scroll it down? It should be right connected. Actions will likely produce those reactions. Any repeated verbal communication that inflicts injury or incites an immediate breach of peace. Now, she's up here saying that this was too subjective. Number 1, she called me a bitch. So I'm sorry, how do you take that? So you got the president of the council who is disorderly herself. How are you going to enforce a disorderly conduct when you are disorderly yourself? You are out of order. Liddell Lewis is out of order. Out of order. Mickey, play the 2 videos. Not my words. I'm going to show you her actions. Week after week after week. And she weaponizes the police. I'm not voting for her to come after the residents any more than she is. I'm not doing that. And as far as my police escort, yes, I have been asked and told I should have one. I did not take one. So is the sound on yet? Is it up? She is disorderly. Liddell Lewis, she's sitting in the 9th Ward person seat. She's not sitting in her designated seat, which shows she's supposed to sit in her designated seat per the Flint Council rules. She is not the 9th ward. She refused to go to her proper seat in the 2nd ward. She refused to go to her seat. So her and Candace Machat boxed in Councilman Pfeiffer the entire meeting and went at him the entire meeting. It was awful. Liddell sat over there to harass and to bully him in between her and Candace and giggled about it and thought it was funny, called him all kind of names throughout this meeting. And then when I was talking to Judy would not and did not handle this and allow this garbage to get out of hand for more than 2 hours. Let's play that video, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. Yes, she called people bitches. You ain't do that. And you don't intimidate me. You don't intimidate me. Thank you. Yeah, this is not fair. That's all I'm saying. No intimidation here.
Y'all need to take y'all That's some bullshit.
I'm hearing you, nigga.
That's some bullshit.
They gonna get enough bitches up in this mother. You don't get enough for that with the president. Just raggedy. You better get
Okay. First of all, she's disorderly. The president of the council at that time, Liddell Lewis, sitting in the wrong seat, not following the council rules, which is to be in your designated seat, disorderly. Until she is, that seat needs, we need, look, vote Jan Marie Arbor for civility, Vote Jan Marie Arbor for civility. She out of order, clear. Look, the video, play the next one. Because it was terrible the whole evening, the whole meeting.
rule him if you had an issue. She's standing up to nuts if you must.
You threatened her.
That's the problem. Wow. That's not. I've been threatened. So what we gonna do?
She wasn't threatened. She wasn't threatened. She wasn't threatened.
Woo, she said, what we gonna do?
There's no back and forth, and if there was, I could not hear what he said. I know, you're telling me that.
Wait a minute, point of order. She is out of order. Madam Chair,
out of order. Out of order.
Out of order. She out of seat. She's being argumentative, going back and forth.
Going back and forth, that will be your warning with Dr. Lewis and Mr. Pfeiffer. Do not yell from that seat.
Judy, you can rule him if you had an issue. She's standing up to nuts if you must.
Now we in council. Am I on? Now we in council chambers. This is the president of Flint City Council, who is not sitting in her designated seat per the Flint City Charter. She's sitting in the 9th ward person seat as to antagonize, bully a man. Now I got up my seat because I saw Pfeiffer's face, and I'm like, sometimes people want you to hit them. And I almost felt at that time where Candace Machat and Liddell Lewis were going at Dennis Pfeiffer, who is a white man, and making racial state. They kept calling him a racist. He's a racist. He's a racist. Now how does it feel? It was terrible. And I looked at Dennis's face with frustration. I got up out my seat and said, Dennis, look, don't sit here. And then she called me, and these are not my words. So this is not me cuss. Well, I'm saying it, but these were her words. She said, bitch. And I'm like, oh. And I'm like, oh, no. Dennis, come on. The council president called her colleague a bitch for de-escalating the threat of violence that she was causing. She was causing the threat of violence. She was out of her seat, sitting in the 9th ward seat. Her seat is the 2nd ward seat. The entire meeting, she went at Dennis Pfeiffer with Candace Mouchette, both of them together. Both of them together. Then she stood up to fight 3 men. What you gonna do? What you gonna do? I've been threatened. I've been threatened. I've been threatened. No, you were the threatening person. Your behavior was threatening, your actions were threatening, and your verbiage and language was threatening. She was the threatening, dangerous one in that room during that meeting. Now, she wants to have she gets an escort. She's worried about I don't know why she's worried about mine, because look, I'm covered. You know, I'm good. You know, don't worry about if I'm getting an escort. I've got this. So she gets an escort. Now she says she's scared of all the people. Now they were doing a recall. She said she's scared of Jedediah. She said she's scared of all the people. It was Mary out there. It was is her name Stephanie was out there. You had Beverly out there. You had Nell out there. You had all the people she claims she's scared of was out there in the second ward doing a recall. But play the video, because she get an escort because she said she's scared of these people. She's scared of these people. Play the video.
Sure.
All right, I'm gonna keep it rolling.
She already know who the homeowners is. So when people come over here now, get over here all this time.
Okay.
And they need new windows.
When registered voters, when people come to the city council members to kind of like see what's going on, she's very combative. You can't get residents kicked out. You can't stand. You can't hold signs. You can't clap. You can't talk. You can't talk. Can I find it? Okay. That's my experience.
Okay.
She tried to get me locked up too.
Okay, can you move your car so I can get through? Because I was right here when you got out the car. Can you please? So I can. I got put out Wednesday for saying absolutely nothing. It was not me, it was somebody else. And she insisted with me and put me out.
All right, no
She ain't doing her job.
Councilwoman, you might want to move your car because she want to get through.
I will. Like resident intimidation.
That's exactly what it is. We got the camera rolling. We got the cameras rolling. We got the cameras rolling.
What difference do it have?
For the most part,
Well, did she tell you what we saying? Did she say what we saying? She ain't doing her job. You got one.
I'm talking to you, and I'm
good. See you later with that. Trying to intimidate the residents, but they got $94 million to help us with our windows and our.
Hey, can you sign it, Councilwoman? Listen, I'm talking to you, and this is me trying it again. Forget all of this. I'm talking to you. Oh, let me talk to you. Only thing that I'm going to talk about is my experience. So far, you all make rules to keep. Okay. Do you think that it's okay to just kind of like kick people out for expressing their freedom of speech? Hey, y'all, she won't move. Let Mama Mary see if she's getting
I will always hear on the city.
You think I came to purposely disrupt when I literally said that I'm here?
No yelling. Watch out! Don't hit nobody.
It's a car coming by. I want you to get hit. Car. She was trying to get through it, there.
Well, I did attempt to have a conversation. It didn't happen. Okay.
That's like resident intimidation. You jump out on your resident sign, and that's like resident intimidation. Who do that? Have you ever seen that before? Oh no, but y'all know let's not leave. Have you ever seen that before?
How to say no? Oh God, we live. Hold on. Live. You are talking crazy.
I
We
know,
live.
but why you ain't still typing?
Because it's hot out there.
She came back. We want to see.
Oh, she came back?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know she came back.
Do your job. Record.
You ain't got to talk to me like that.
Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. So she was clearly not afraid because she jumped out that car. She had a whole conversation with Jedediah. Did she talk to you too, Mickey?
No,
she was talking to Beverly.
I was just recording.
You were just recording.
I was just because you said I had to get behind the family whose house we was at. I got fucking get her picture because remember it was the crowd, so that was me going around.
Now, and there was about 30, 40 people out there.
Yeah.
And she jumped out. She rolled up
on the wrong side.
On the wrong side of the street.
The lady was trying to get in her. She wanted to get to her house.
She rolled up on the. But then when she said that they were blocking traffic, she was blocking traffic.
Right.
She does that gaslighting this community. She jumped out and walked up, stood next to Jedediah the whole time. That she's afraid of Jedediah, but she stood next to him the entire time. Right. The pictures are there. She stood next to him. She was not scared, y'all. Right. She was standing next to him the whole time. He talked to her while she was in the car the whole time. She was not scared. Now, it's really a bad look because she's clowning the Flint Police Department. They got all these unsolved homicides, murders, ain't got no gang task force. And they sitting here babysitting her with these, she's threatened. She ain't threatened. She rolled up on all of y'all. Had nobody but herself. It was her. She rolled up. And it was kind of gangster because she was gonna check her. She didn't say anything when she got up there, but she was not scared. She rolled up in there like, let me let y'all know. You know, you got to be careful what she's saying, like crime is down. We're at, and she stares that, it's like a Trumpster's thing. She keeps that going. I'm gonna send this back to you, Mickey, because I want you to put up the okay. It's in there. You're gonna have to scroll down where she's sitting next to Jedediah. Oh, I'm gonna put it back at the top. And then we're gonna. She's not scared, but she's getting the police escort. Those police could be on the street. They could be on the street patrolling the street. They could be working on some of these cases they can't solve. Now here she is, clearly standing next to Jedediah Brown. She got out her car, stood there against all these people she's scared of, by herself, by her singular solo self. And she's standing, look, Jedediah right there in the background. He right there. Does she appear to be threatened to y'all? She's threatened. She wasn't threatened. She rolled up on everybody else. She was not scared. She should not be receiving a police escort. And then she said, that's the reason why I need a police escort, and doesn't feel any guilt about it. That's crazy to me. I don't understand. It's insanity. She is talking and standing right next to this man. Ain't a police officer around. There are no police around. And she was not scared. She is clowning the Flint Police Department. Let me say it again. Ladell Lewis is clowning the Flint Police Department. She is clowning the Flint Police Department because she is clearly and visibly not threatened because she doesn't need an escort. She's standing next to the people she claims she needs one from. So moving on from that, Chief Green got to quit letting her get this free escort. You know, she's clowning the police department. So I'm gonna close. I am supporting for We Won't Change, and to get out the to get the people out of, to get 810 out of the timeout corner. And it literally is a timeout corner. They got y'all all roped off. I don't know what the rope off part is about. I mean, like, you can only get into the, I think that's kind of like a prison, don't cross, like federal prison, kind of like, don't cross this line. They have it roped off. Not that it's just an area, it's roped off. Like y'all special. I don't like that. I don't like that. I believe in freedom of the press. So I am supporting Jean-Marie Arbor for 7th Ward so we can get some civility. Civility is defined as number one, being respectful of each other, being respectful of your colleagues. We need civility. Civility is something that we need. I'm supporting Jean-Marie Arbor because we need civility in those council chambers. And is everyone going to be perfect? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. What is the act of, what does it mean to act with civility? It says it is a formal politeness and courtesy and behavior and speech. What is the meaning of civility? I'm going to give you a second definition. Civility is the act of showing regard for others by being polite. She does not show politeness to her colleagues. She has went after Councilman Pfeiffer. She's went after me. She's went after Jeremy Carter. She's went after, she's called Councilman Jarrett, ignorant, referred to him as being out here ignorant. And so she's not polite. And then double down. Yeah, I said, No, we need someone to act with civility. We need that. I'm asking you, tell your family, tell your friends, get out and vote. If you're in the 7th Ward or know someone, even if you don't, tell them to share the word. Get out and vote. You cannot afford to sit at home. We need Jean-Marie Arbor in that seat for a chance at civility, because we've seen what we got. The other one is tolerant of Doug, who says Black people aren't Black, called them the N-word, which was reported by a sergeant with the Flint Police Department. We need Jean-Marie to bring back and to have a chance of civility so we can get 810 out the timeout designated corner. Only thing you don't have is like padded walls. So anyways, look, I want everyone, if I did not call your name, Jay Pix is not playing. If I did not call you, I'm gonna tell y'all, thank y'all for spending time with us. I am saying support Jean-Marie Arbor because we need her support so we can have a chance at civility. I definitely believe if we get her in, you'll see immediately that those meetings will change because, the 5 votes will change. It will be a drastic change. So you need to get out the vote. You cannot afford to stay home. Cherie Byron says she has a question. What was her question? Did she put it up there?
I ain't see
Okay. Well, we are going to head out. So if anyone that is in here, look, click. Oh, we didn't do the support 810.
Yeah, I got it.
You got the dollar. Okay. Listen, support Cash App $ 810 News Media Group. Tonya Burns does not get paid for this. They've tried to say I get 0 from it. So it's my time and effort in it to bring everyone some truth. Can a motion be made to stop definitely having the police girls? Okay. That's going to be on Chief Green. Miss Barnes. It's going to be on Chief Green, but Chief Green is allowing her to clown them now. So listen, click, like, share. Please donate to 810 News Media Group via Cash App, $810 News Media Group. Get out and vote. You can vote early. You can vote today, 9 to 5. You can vote Monday. Tuesday is the voting day. If you have questions, everything is on there. I wish everyone, and Bishop Priestley, hey to you and hey to everybody else, Jessica, Ms. Richburg, Marcus, for everybody. Mickey got to get out of here.
I gotta get out.
I appreciate y'all for sharing your time with me and for tuning in with Talking with Tonya. Have a beautiful weekend.